Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon, everyone. Let us always offer up a sense of worship and praise to Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, who gives His mercy and grace to us, so that we can all get together in healthy set. Furthermore, is the presentation of paper to be presented by me. What is language? Language is a system of conventional spoken, manual sign, or written symbol by means of which human beings, as members of social group and participants in this culture, express themselves. Language use refers to the communicated meaning of language. It can be compared to usage, which refers to the rules for making language and the structure we use to make it. Example: one use of the third conditional is to express regret, e.g., if I hadn't spent so much time mucking about school, I would have passed a few more exam. Salah satu penggunaan pada kalimat ini merupakan kata if yang menyatakan penyesalan.
Language as a human. Language sets people apart from all other creatures. Every non-human society has had a language, and thus some non-humans may be able to communicate with one another in fairly complex ways. None of their communication system begins to approach language in its ability to convey information, nor is the transmission of complex and varied information such an integral part of the everyday lives of other creatures. Nor do other communication systems share many of the design features of human language, such as the ability to communicate with about events other than in the here and now. But it's difficult to conceive of human society without a language.
Language is like culture, that othermost human attribute, is notable for its unity in diversity. There are many languages and many cultures, all different but all fundamentally the same. Bahasa seperti budaya, atribut paling manusiawi lainnya, terkenal karena kesatuannya dalam keragaman. Ada banyak bahasa dan banyak budaya. Semuanya berbeda tetapi semua pada dasarnya sama. Karena ada satu sifat manusia yang memungkinkan keragaman seperti itu ada dalam bahasa dan budaya. For example, contohnya tuh kayak bayangkan ada dua laki-laki berumur 30 tahunan, and we call them Adam and Ben, walking down the corridor. Judging from their clothing, they are young businessmen taking a break from work. And then they have this conversation. Adam: "You know Gary bought a ring." And Ben said, "Oh yeah, for Mary, isn't it?" And if you're watching this scene and hearing their conversation, you can guess from that, first of all, Gary bought a ring for Mary. And perhaps you would infer that Gary is getting married to Mary. And what else can you guess? Perhaps that Adam and Ben are fairly close friends. And both of them know Gary and Mary. In other words, you can guess the social relationships surrounding the people who are engaging in their conversation and the people whom they are talking about. Kalian dapat menebak hubungan sosial di sekitar orang-orang yang terlibat dalam percakapan dan orang-orang mereka bicarakan.
Psychological consequences of language use. What are the psychological consequences of language use? When people use language to describe an experience, their thoughts and feelings are profoundly shaped by the linguistic representation that they have produced rather than the original experience per se. For example, show a picture of a person displaying an ambiguous emotion and examine how people evaluated the display emotion. When people verbally explained why the target person was expressing a particular emotion, they tended to remember the person as feeling that emotion more intensely than when they simply labeled the emotion. Misalnya menunjukkan gambar seseorang yang menunjukkan emosi ambigu dan memeriksa bagaimana orang mengevaluasi emosi yang ditampilkan. Ketika orang secara verbal menjelaskan mengapa orang yang dituju mengekspresikan emosi tertentu, Mereka cenderung mengingat orang tersebut sebagai orang yang merasakan emosi itu lebih intens daripada ketika mereka hanya memberi label emosi tersebut.
Constructing linguistic representation of another person's emotion apparently bias the speaker's memory of that person's emotion. Furthermore, linguistically labeling one's own emotional experience appears to alter the speaker's neural processes. When people linguistically label negative images, the amygdala, a brain structure that is critically involved in the processing of negative emotions, such as fear, was activated less than when they were not given a chance to label them. Dengan demikian, membangun representasi linguistik dari emosi orang lain tampaknya membiaskan ingatan pembicara tentang emosi orang itu. Lebih jauh, pelabelan pengalaman emosional seseorang secara linguistik tampaknya mengubah proses saraf pembicara. Language does not completely determine our thoughts. Our thoughts are far too flexible for that, but habitual use of language can influence our habit of thought and action.
Okay.
Most people think of language as permanent written in then what the person studied in language in school. The actual student, the written language, literally the text written in the language, or composition in which the student composition their one one written text. Spoken language is given second place in school and university exam and different elementary level of foreign language study. But some modern linguistic approach beginning in the 19th century was the relation that the opposite is true. Language is primarily spoken and writing language in a perfect relation of spoken language. Confirmed through a very new and favorite technology in writing.
Okay, that is our presentation. We will closing this presentation. Thank you for your attention. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.